YouTube, it's Angela and it's Friday, so here is my video for this week. The topic is children, so yeah, I'm just gonna go down the questions. How do I feel about having children in general? I go back and forth about how I feel about actually birthing a child, but I do think that there will be a point in my life that I will want to have little people around in my reality. I'm just not sure at this point whether I will want to actually push one out of me or whether or not I will want to adopt. I'm a big fan of adoption. I think it's wonderful, and I think that's probably pretty close to a definite for me that I will adopt at some point. I just don't know about actually having a child yet. I go back and forth. How does my partner, boyfriend feel about it? Oh, he's coming home now. How does he feel about it? How do you feel about having kids, mister?
I don't want them right now.
He does not want them right now. For sure. Yeah, we definitely, a couple of friends of ours have children, and we think on a regular basis that we are very glad that that is not a part of our reality in this moment. I think he kind of goes back and forth, at least in our discussions, about whether or not he wants them in life. I don't know. I think he would be a really good dad, so I hope he does want them. But yeah, we're not, I don't know, definite on that. Does your boyfriend, partner plan on having kids? If so, do they want, what plans do they have? Adoption, donor for their future partner, or me, or themselves? Andrew absolutely would not have a child himself, birth a child himself. He has every plans to get rid of all those parts that he doesn't need in the future, have a hysterectomy. He has no desire to ever have a child. I think that if I did have a child, we would do a sperm donor. Or, like I said earlier, adoption is probably something that we would seriously look into. Yeah. How do you feel about trans guys that choose to carry their own children, like Thomas Beatty and others? I think that that's their own choice, and I think that it could be a really progressive way of looking at childbirthing, but isn't, specifically in Thomas Beatty's situation. He, it's like radical. There's this dude having a baby, right? But then he upheld a lot of really rigid gender roles when they were talking about how their family's going to operate. So that kind of bothered me. But I think that, he wasn't the first one, right? He just got a bunch of hype for it. I think it's totally cool if guys do decide to do that, either before or after they transition in some way. I think it's absolutely every family's decision how they want to go about that, and it doesn't bother me in any way. And I don't think it bothers Andrew, other than that he thought all the hype around Thomas Beatty was kind of bullshit because he wasn't actually the first guy to do it, and it bothered him too about how Thomas Beatty was all like, I'm going to be the dad and she's going to be the mom, and just very, very 1950s picket fence family narrative, even though it was progressive in the sense that the man was carrying the baby. So yeah. If you have children, is your partner planning on coming out to them? Yeah, I think we've talked about this too, in the sense that a friend of ours, a couple who we are friends with, has a kid, and Drew has asked them how do you handle this, how do you plan on handle this as she grows up, and their perspective is to just talk about it like they normally do. Now, when issues come up or things come up regarding his transition, they talk about it, and they're not going to stop doing that. And we both thought that was a really good way of handling it. Don't it's not some big deal that you sit down and say this is what's real about daddy or whatever, but instead just talk about it on a regular basis like you would or wouldn't normally with the kids around, and then they won't see it as this big huge secret thing. It'll just be a part of their life and a part of the life they grow up with, and yeah, maybe be kind of they'll kind of understand it as just a part of their family, or just a part of their family's history, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of how I think that if we have kids, we would go about it. Like, it wouldn't be a secret to them, but it also wouldn't be like a moment when we sit down and have the conversation. It would just be a part of their everyday lives. And when they're old enough to understand it and ask more questions, then we'd answer those questions at that point. Yeah, but all of that is way, 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 way down from in history from now. Yeah, like probably 10 years. So this is not anywhere close to on the agenda anytime soon for us. Yep, that's all I got this week. So I'll see you guys next week.